been here since 5 a.m.?
Oh, yeah.
The head forester, we had him
So
locked in
that'll give us time
Okay.
to put the blockade back up, right?
or something.
Or something.
So we're on top of Monument Ridge, out Monument Road, out about 4 miles out of Rio Dell. We're here with Sawyer, who is with the Lost Coast League. Why don't you tell us a little bit about what we're doing out here today?
Well, today we're visiting a blockade that folks are blockading access from Humboldt Redwood Company out to their holdings in the within the Mattole River watershed, where they plan to do logging of some late seral and some very biodiverse forests.
Okay, and if we could just focus on this specific action, like this week there have been a few arrests. You guys have had a presence here since Sunday, at this specific gate, maybe since Sunday, if I'm understanding that correctly.
Well, there's a lot going on, and so I'm not totally familiar with how many gates are being blockaded at any time. But as far as we know, the Mattole Forest Defenders are blockading the gates, and there's people in the woods that are blockading the roads, and they're doing so because we're trying to formulate a conversation with the Fisher family that owns the place in order to preserve it. So we're buying a little bit of time, and there's been a situation in the woods that has involved threatening people, and so we're all trying to come together and hash that out and figure out with the company what tactics they're taking and some of the ethics behind how they're dealing with nonviolent protesters.
Okay, and can you describe a little more about that, about how your relations, your discussions with the Humboldt Redwood Company and people that are working on their behalf?
Yeah, well, they've been good. I mean, they were way better than Charles Hurwitz back in Pacific Lumber days. But at some point, they want to commit this older forest so they can supply wood to Home Depot and Lowe's in a large scale. So they want the resources, and they have stopped talking to us. We've stopped having sit-down meetings. It's no longer polite. And now they have sent out a pretty strong team of paramilitary to take out the people that are blockading the roads, involving dogs, and they've got weapons, and it's concerning because there's not a whole lot of eyes on the ground watching them and helping to protect them. So we're going to need more people out there, and assurances from the company that they're not going to hurt anybody like they did David Chain in the late 90s.
Okay. If people are interested in what you guys are doing out here, or a little bit more of the science and history behind it, where could they get more information about that?
Well, they can learn a little bit about the Mattole by looking at there's some videos and some footage on lostcoastleague.org. That's the group of residents down valley whom I work with, and then the folks that are sort of more of blockading the road, buying time until we can negotiate with the people that own Gap and the A's and all that stuff. This is their show, and they work on Facebook with, you can look up Save Mattole Ancient Forest on Facebook, or anything involving Mattole Forest Defense or any of that. There's information on lostcoastleague.org. We somewhat work together, but for the most part, the league works with people in the valley, and the forest defenders, their job is to stop access to an area that is unbelievably biodiverse and beautiful, and we should slow down and have a nice conversation about it instead of committing the resources and being regretful in the future. It's the other headwaters forest. It's Doug fir, it's old oaks and madrones, and it's one of the most biodiverse places I've ever seen. It's also really far away. It's out, you have to hike 12 miles to get there.
Sawyer, thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate you for coming.